Hello friends, it's me, and today, Christmas style theory. Let's check out, I made the world's ugliest Christmas sweater style theory from the style theorist. Together, let's go.
Today, I harness the power of my subscribers to design, scientifically
Gun.
speaking, the world's ugliest Christmas sweater. And theorists, all I can say is, I'm sorry for what you're about to witness.
This is the worst. It's so bad.
I don't think we needed science to tell us this was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
I cannot think of anyone in their right mind who would want to wear this. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Style Theory, where
Hello Internet, welcome to Style Theory.
Today, it is a very festive episode. Across the globe, it's getting colder, the fireplaces are getting toasty, and people are starting to seed presents under the table, which means that it is time for Style Theory's first ever holiday episode, which is pretty exciting. What exactly that Style Theory is, though, is up to Amy, because Amy is my puppeteer on this channel, and she is going to determine for me what is going to be best. So, dear Santa Amy,
Merry Christmas. Hello there, Matthew Patrick. Do you want some presents?
The way that she just Merry Christmas and just elegantly appeared behind him.
I've had a lot of jump scares on this couch and on this set. This is perhaps the strangest
You weren't expecting Santa?
I wasn't expecting a lot of things about what I'm seeing over here right now. It's
Ho,
just,
ho, ho.
what is that accent? Where is that coming from?
You have to ho ho from your soul.
The hair growth episode has really worked well for
For
you.
real,
Ooh.
Rogaine really works.
I think you were supposed to concentrate it up here. And
I
all
wanted
down
to be
here.
part of the Beard Boys.
Sure.
I felt very left out, but I will say it's taking off the entirety of my makeup, so
Oh,
I'm gonna kind of transition away.
You're one part Santa, one part like Assassin's Creed right now.
If they would have let me take my hidden blades on a plane, I would have.
Oh, the gift that won't pass TSA. Speaking of gifts, Amy didn't fly all the way from the North Pole to Raleigh empty-handed. She came with some presents in tow.
I did indeed, Matt, but my holiday magic will only keep me here for a very short time. I can already feel the North Pole pulling me back. So the clock is ticking, and we can't waste any time. When Matt challenged
North Pole, Hollywood.
me with coming up with a holiday style theory episode, there was only one thing that stood out from all of the rest, shining like Rudolph's nose on a snowy Christmas evening.
When you think of Christmas, what do you think of?
Santa.
What about what you wear?
Elf costumes, large puffer jackets, gloves, hats, galoshes, balaclavas.
I don't like it that Matt just answers, and Amy is like, more?
What would you call this?
Snow pants. This is a hoodie. What's similar to a hoodie?
An ugly sweater.
Ugly Christmas
Ugly
sweaters.
Christmas sweater.
First time, perfect.
Yes.
I'm going to take you on an exploration of what it truly means to be ugly, at least according to you, our audience. A little while back, I ran a survey where I had you tell me your thoughts on what made an ugly Christmas sweater, well, ugly. It had a little of this, a little of that, and a whole lot of, oh God, my eyes, kind of trauma, which means we did the job right.
Then we took all that data to make the most cursed Christmas sweater that you could possibly put on your body. Really, when it comes right down to it, you only have yourselves to blame for this. So this is your fault.
This is all your fault.
You're the ones who did this.
You made this horrible thing come into existence.
I'm ashamed.
Actually, I'm just disappointed.
I'm ashamed and disappointed.
Shamed, disappointed, and unjolly.
Not unjolly.
Very unjolly.
Ooh, that's cool.
But you know what does make me feel nice and warm inside? Your turnout. I had a winter wonderland worth of data to sort through, and I was able to distill that down to a few key elements that separated the truly hideous from the so ugly it's cute. And then I sent all of that information to our product company to turn it into the scientifically ugliest Christmas sweater.
Wait, so you haven't seen this abomination either?
Not in real life. So, this is going to be a world premiere for all of us at the same time. But hold up, don't skip to the end yet, because then you will miss a once-in-a-lifetime announcement that's going to happen during this video. Now, to break down what makes an ugly Christmas sweater actually ugly, I'm giving Matt 3 gifts. Each gift will represent key data points that went into building our ugliest Christmas sweater. So, are you ready for this? I hope so, because it's time for our first present of the day, the gift of Christmas. Ho, ho, ho! No.
All right. So, for box number 1.
Okay, here we go. Okay. Oh, this is kind of fun. I don't hate this. This is kind of cute. Ooh, it's very soft. The printing, maybe not the highest quality. I think I know what this one's going for. which is where your body part is used to like fill in the rest of the body.
Yep.
That is pretty disturbing.
And Matt was pretty right on the money. Of our top 10 ugliest sweaters, 2 of them featured you as the character as part of the design.
Wait, sorry, me personally as a character, or you as in a general human?
The royal you.
Oh, thank goodness.
Not just you, but also you.
I mean, it could have been me. Like, I wouldn't have been surprised. Our audience would absolutely have voted for that.
No, actually, you always go very favorably in our polls. They're always very nice to you.
That's nice.
It throws off all of the data. In surveys,
Yep, you. Like the alphabet U.
please be mean to him.
No, don't do that.
Yes.
At least be nice.
No.
My ego can't handle it.
Matt skewing results with his ego aside, the sweater also showed off something else. A crazy 57% of our top ugly sweaters had busy patterns in their design, including 2 out of our top 3. The more space taken up by a nonsensical pattern, the more it makes your eyes feel like they're about to bleed. The TLDR version, negative space, is the antithesis of ugly.
Psst, Amy, the sweater that you gave me isn't that busy.
You're correct, Matt, and that's because finding a sweater that best represents multiple, most ugly traits is a hard thing to do. And do you know why?
Tell me why, Amy.
Again, no one made the ugliest sweater, so no one purposely represented them all in one sweater.
See, that makes sense to me. See, now I get
Yes.
the purpose of this episode.
Yes.
Because on one hand, I get like, oh, it's a fun exploration of what makes an ugly Christmas sweater. But at the same time,
They don't put them together.
Is there a world
Yes.
where the ugliest of ugly Christmas sweaters actually becomes a really good Christmas sweater?
Oh, don't you worry, Matt. We'll get to that. But right now, you may be wondering why anyone in their right mind would wear something like this. And it's actually pretty interesting. You see, while the majority of our long-standing holiday traditions date back centuries, ugly sweaters are a bit more recent, like really recent. In the 1950s, with the rise of technology's ability to mass produce both products and the ads that promote them, sweaters made to
1950s is like 70 years ago. Wow.
only be worn during the holidays started to come into fashion, and they came to be known as Jingle Bell sweaters. However, while I wouldn't call them
74 years, sorry.
fashion forward, they were not the ugly sweaters as we think of them today. Their purpose wasn't to be outright ugly, they were just meant to show off your festive spirit during the holidays. Eventually, those sweaters fell out of fashion and were considered a bit too old school to be hip with the youth. And by the time the 90s rolled around, it was pretty much dead and buried. At least it was until the Canadians entered the chat. Vancouver-based friends Chris Boyd and Jordan Birch threw the first ever ugly Christmas sweater party back in 2002. And boom! Suddenly everyone and their grandma was grabbing a Santa or a Rudolph to slap on their chest and join in on the festivities. And now you can't walk 5 feet during the holidays without running into one of these bad boys.
Hey, thanks for the history lesson, but is it time for my next present?
Sure is. I call this one the gift of Christmas. What the fudge is that?
Just give me the present.
We have box number 2.
Ooh, I'm noticing that the boxes have different patterns on them. Is this some sort of secret code or secret, like message?
Yes, so that I know which box to hold.
Oh! Nope. Yeah, you don't have to explain this one twice to me.
Oh, no, I will, though.
I like that this is not the ugliest Christmas sweater.
No, it is
because
not.
this is horrific.
I don't know what you mean.
When you say ugly Christmas sweater, this to me is like the epitome of an
Yes.
ugly Christmas sweater, right? Things are just awkwardly glued and sewed onto it. It doesn't make sense. You know what you're getting from tipsyelves.com.
I am so glad you called that out. The more random and downright confusing use of 3D objects on your sweater, the better. In our survey, our second highest rated sweater included a haphazard use of bells, much like what we're seeing on Matt's sweater. Okay, stop. No, this is more disturbing than the actual sweater. Oh, why are all of these shoots so traumatizing? Merry Christmas to me, the gift of therapy. Aside from those bells, in the head-to-head section, the most unanimous vote was actually this pair of sweaters, with the 3D element option getting 94% of the ugly vote. I gotta say, the use of ribbons in this one was particularly mind-boggling.
You're fixated on the bows. Meanwhile, me, I can't help but question the large, oversized pine cones. It's an odd choice, just saying. Speaking of, I feel like we're missing a big point here, which is like, what about a Christmas sweater makes it a Christmas sweater?
Well, first off, it needs to include colors that are commonly associated with the holiday. Your reds, greens, blues, whites. Then you
Okay, so it's like primary colors, I guess. Primary colors.
either need some holiday characters like Santa, Rudolph, the elves, or some iconic imagery from the holiday like stockings or Christmas trees.
This is terrible. I hate this. Like the other one, I hated because the idea of your face popping out and becoming Santa is terrible. But the idea of just like super gluing a bunch of things onto a sweater, this is the worst. And then you look at the back and they just drop all pretense.
And they just gave up.
This is a combination of ugly and depressing. I was gonna say this is the sweater embodiment
That's true.
of seasonal affective disorder.
And I think this sweater actually marks a very important point in our journey.
The part where we remind people to hit that subscribe button so the next time we do a survey, they're gonna be the first to know. And that by subscribing, not only do they support the channel, but they'll also be notified whenever we upload a new video, thus bringing them a shiny new present straight to their sub feed for free.
While that is important, and you should totally subscribe right now and join us
Yes, subscribe. Thank you.
on our climb to 3 million style theorists, what I actually meant is that this sweater tells us something important our survey could only hint at: feelings. A clothing item is only as effective as it makes you feel.
Oh, I get it. When I look at this hideous monstrosity, I feel like I want to gouge my eyes out with an unsharpened spoon.
I'm just gonna yes and here. So yes, how much you enjoy something is a hard factor to account for, and it's determined mainly by how that clothing item affects our mood. So we have to find something that would give people that universal sense of ugh. And here's the thing, ugliness is very subjective, but at its root, it's about two specific things: what we find attractive and what we find trustworthy. So far in this episode, we focused mainly on the first part, attractiveness. When we find something attractive, our brains are hardwired to view that thing more positively. Like we talked about in our facial symmetry episode, when we're babies, we're born showing a preference for faces and objects that we find more quote-unquote attractive. And because of that, we built our survey to find out what people found the least attractive about designs. And it's why the sweaters that evoked a strong negative feeling stood out the most, whether that was in disgust, unease, or just a general sense of yuck.
But you didn't have that reaction to this sweater.
No, to me, this one is very minimally offensive. So that means that our final product needs to be unquestionably off-putting and harness the full power of negative holiday-themed ideas.
Oh, like this guy.
What guy?
So I was changing.
Oh, the bling Jason. Hashtag bling Jason.
I found this hanging out in my closet. And I do gotta pitch this in here.
Listen, this is ugly, but I would still say it's not a Christmas sweater.
It rides a very narrow line.
It does, and I think that the IP disqualifies it from this episode.
What, FNAF not festive enough for you?
Listen, Matt, IP characters bring a whole other list of variables into this that are outside of holiday metrics. Besides, this pattern doesn't hit the scattered look that people considered super ugly. There's no 3D elements, and sure, this character is ugly, but that's his normal design. It's not taking something that you are used to and making it more uncanny and more creepy. So I stick to what I said, disqualified.
I mean, nothing says joy of the holidays
Like
quite
a-
like gray pizza slices, ripped up animatronic arms that are just awkwardly short.
He's got a big head and little arms.
Okay. Enough wallowing in the past. We are running out of time, Matt. I can feel my holiday magic dwindling, and soon I'll be called back to the North Pole.
You mean LA?
No. Like the original Santa, Santa Amy, is also from the North Pole.
Sure, we'll go with that. So, Santa Amy,
Yeah, sure. Definitely.
what's left on your list?
Glad you asked. After this unboxing, I have a big surprise for all of you watching that you will not want to miss. Now, on to my final gift, the gift of Christmas. Dad, you're embarrassing me.
So, three-dimensional elements, giant characters, ugly repeating patterns.
And then box number 3.
And then box number 3 is, what do we got here? More three-dimensional elements.
A little bit.
I don't hate this one. I don't hate this one viscerally like I hated the last one viscerally.
I just didn't expect you to hate the second one so much.
Oh, it was so hideous. Is this one all about Uncanny Valley characters?
Kinda,
Because I
yeah.
see this and it's like, that isn't quite Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and it bothers me.
It's that, plus you get the hairy texture.
The little like fur texture?
Our highest ranked ugly sweater was a giant Rudolph with a hairy
fur texture to it.
Huh.
So we left one space on our survey
Yeah.
for people to basically describe the ugliest sweater they saw in that survey, and so many people were traumatized by the Rudolph.
Huh. Harry Rudolph.
Harry Rudolph.
Fascinating.
The other thing that the comments made clear, realness equals ugliness. The more true to life and realistic the image, the creepier it was. Realistic reindeers, nightmare fuel. Your face on a character, gag. Add in the realistic hair, burn it with fire. This is the uncanny valley, an idea that was popularized by Japanese roboticist Masahiro Mori. The uncanny valley is where things look and feel real, but not quite right. This causes us to react to that thing with unease. And that brings me back to the second half of what makes things quote unquote ugly. You know, that thing I was trying to explain earlier before I was jump scared by a Nightmare Freddy? You see, it's not really about something being pretty, it's about it being trustworthy. This is actually a survival instinct. Back before modern society made this a heck of a lot easier, we had to use our natural instincts to avoid things that were diseased or contaminated, such as our use of sight. And so, things that look off-putting trigger that this thing bad, keep my distance kind of reaction. And in the case of our survey,
Sorry. Amy makes a very good point. Like, back in those days, our primal ancestors, in which if I was to lose an eye, or I was to get very sick, like pox all over, and back in the days, there's no doctors. You practically die. You practically don't survive. If you see someone with those characteristics, like, alright, I'm staying away from you because you lose an eye and you have disease. So if I get any close to you, I'll be infected, and the very fact that you are handicapped is not good for my survival it's not good for my survival. When, you know, I'm being hunted by the saber-toothed tiger.
cross in the data as uglier, which will be very important to our final sweater.
I mean, to be fair, hair is pretty upsetting.
It's true.
Like-
I still see that little beard sitting over there, and I'm not cool with it.
I'm not gonna lie, you with fake beard was, for a minute, I'm like, ooh, okay.
Yep, listen, that's what I hope to inspire in
was
people when they
concerning.
meet me.
Yes.
Just poof.
Oof.
The other thing that came across that's represented by this sweater is the red. Red sweaters hit higher than any of the other colors.
Really?
Yes.
More than like what, green?
More than green, more than blue, more than brown. Yep, out of the 20 sweaters that we ranked, 8 were red, including 2 of the top 3. And let's be real, we could probably count this reddish brown one too, what with the red bells and all, but for the sake of science and clean data, we won't. And that's not all. In our head-to-head section, sweaters with a significant portion of red were also considered uglier on average, winning 6 out of 8 battles. Now this could be because historically red is associated with danger. Think fire or blood, though as we said in a previous episode, green doesn't have the best track record in that regard either, so we'll count this one mainly up to personal preference. However,
This one, I mean, here's the thing. I don't hate it.
This is the one key defining factor, hate. And what I mean by that is the gut reaction that makes you look at something and just go, ew. What stops the sweaters that we've looked at already from reaching that full ugly potential is that while they do include many of our key factors, lots of red, big, uncanny characters, loud, busy patterns, hair, and a questionable use of 3D elements, these sweaters still don't give us the ew. All of them, even the one that Matt hated, were still very cute. There's not a 100% accurate answer as to why we find some things ugly and some things cute, at least when it comes to our non-character sweaters. But I can tell you why this Rudolph is less trauma-inducing than the one from our survey. It's a thing called baby schema. You know how we look at puppies and kittens and go, "Aw, so cute." Well, this is why. When we see big eyes and big heads, we're reminded of babies. And just like babies are wired to be drawn to trustworthy adults, adults are hardwired to want to help and protect babies. However,
Is in our basic instinct. Our instinct to go, it's hardwired into our biological mindsets. Interesting.
Our brains can take that to a weird extreme. I call this the pop figure effect, where we will overlook those weird and unsettling traits of something, like say, the dead soulless eyes of a Funko Pop, because it hits those baby schema qualifications, just like the Rudolph on Matt's sweater. And using that logic, we know that not only does our team need to combine all of our key factors into one sweater, they need to do something so horrifying that it gives that gut punch of ugh, something that will push our sweater so far into that realm of ugly that you would never ever consider it cute.
Yeah, we're gonna combine it all together into an ugly sweater monster.
Like a big old ball of ugliness.
We will fusion, huh?
Is that a Dragon Ball Z reference?
We're gonna fuse it all together into one ultimate super sweater.
The greatest hits collection of disgusting elements, all on one sweater. Your one-stop
Super Saiyan reference. Kamehameha! Kamehameha!
shop for just terrible awfulness.
All brought to us by you.
That brings us to the moment that you all have been waiting for, the big reveal and my surprise. Just like Matt is about to be gifted the scientifically ugliest Christmas sweater as determined by the results of our survey, you, yes, you watching this video right now, have the chance to own one too. By clicking the shopping button in the bottom left corner of your screen, you could own the world's scientifically proven ugliest Christmas sweater. And listen,
But having said that, I'm so sorry, this video came out last year in the year 2023. Right now it's in the year 2024. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I'm so sorry.
this is a TheoryWare first. It is our first ever limited run. We are only making one of these in every size available on our website. And once it's gone, it is gone for good. So you better hurry and click that button so that you can own a piece of holiday history. With that out of the way, I can't wait anymore. I need to see the final result for myself. Hold it in my hands and get to... Wait, what's happening? No! No! No!
You know, now having worn this for the last half hour, I'm really coming to love it. It's got fun lights. It's really cute. I might wear this bowling later. Amy's gone. Dear Matt, had presents to give, people to see. You know the drill. Here is the ugliest Christmas sweater. Words cannot describe for you the level of untidy scrawl that is Amy's holiday note here. She disappeared off to the North Pole, I guess. So without any further
Yep, Hollywood, North Pole.
ado, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. The ugliest Christmas sweater as brought to you by you guys.
With the power of all those previous sweaters fused together, this is what we got.
Oh no. Oh no. Why? Ah! There's a lot here that has to be discussed.
Let's run through the, let's call them highlights of our final product, shall we? Starting at the top of the list, Santa himself. This checks off two of our features, giant character and hairy texture. Just take a look at that dirty, dirty beard. Then we have ourselves the full nonsensical pattern, which just makes your eyes water. Why are there so many sizes? Why are none of these stockings matching? And why is the snow yellow? Also, we have ourselves the red overtones and that one random useless bow for our 3D object. This little guy is just gonna haunt me the entire holiday season, though not as much as the pièce de résistance, Santa's feet. We said we needed something to give us that uncanny valley moment, that immediate unease and ew factor. Well, look no further than Santa's four-toed, hyperextended feet. Not even the wiki feet stands are gonna wanna look at these little piggies. Add in that weird off-white and dirty color palette across the board, and you have yourself one ugly Christmas sweater. You don't have to take my word for it. Time to see the office's response.
Hi. Hello, loved one.
Okay. All right.
What do you
What
think?
is that?
Do any of these socks match?
It's a great question. I haven't gone through and looked into that, actually.
Why are his feet out?
Like I said, he's got to air, he's got to air them out.
Hey, you're so no. He's not wearing any. There's
very small
no
body.
shoes.
You've got dogs out on your sweater right now. Hey, he's got those leather boots on all the time. He is cooking up a bouillabaisse in those boots. He's making a stew in there.
It's covered in socks, and none of them are on his feet. What is going on?
Oh, that's a good point.
Judging Santa's feet right now?
1,000%. If he's putting them on display, I'm judging them.
This is
Asymmetrical.
so no, it's so awful.
How do you feel about the beard? Better question, how do you feel about the beard texture matching the texture of what you're wearing right now.
Is nearly identical.
I was gonna say, separated at birth, perhaps?
Discoloration in the color of his beard is like, that is rancid. That's truly rancid.
This reads as chest hair. It doesn't read as a beard.
Anything else bother you about this sweater?
This bow.
I'm sorry, what are we doing here?
There's a bow.
There's one bow! That's the worst thing I've ever seen.
See, that almost, I'm dumb enough that that actually makes sense.
The fact that the snowflakes are yellow kills me. Literally, yellow is the worst.
No, do people not usually approve of yellow snow?
Yellow snow is never something you want to see.
Here's the
I don't love that the reds aren't matching.
The socks look like they've been run through the laundry like several times. Achieved that like grayish off-white color that you never want to see on your laundry. Did you not use a color catcher? Like what's going on here?
You didn't clean any of the other white on the sweater though.
No.
You look kind of sickly in it.
Yeah, I do.
Just a sickly Santa with lots of chest hair and a dirty sweater. Gross. Gross.
That hurt.
So there you have it, my friends, the scientifically ugliest Christmas sweater ever made. All thanks
And 3 of them are wearing it.
to you, and a survey built to hack into your brain's base instincts. No boy, did you guys ever do a great job. This thing is hideous, truly hideous, but is it the worst sweater ever made? Yeah, maybe, maybe not, but it's definitely the only one that's been backed by science. And remember, this is actually something that you can buy right now if you're fast enough. There's only one of each size available, and then it is gone forever, to which I say good riddance, let it die 1,000 deaths in a fire. But you know what? I think we could probably do something like this again next year. Now that we know what science has to say about the psychology of ugly, we can dive into our collective bank of holiday trauma to figure out how to improve on this. Make version 2.0. So leave your suggestions down in the comments, and maybe, just maybe, if a Christmas miracle happens, we'll do a part 2 next year. See if we can one-up ourselves. Maybe make it a holiday tradition here on the channel. Until then, though, I hope you all have a happy holiday season, and as always, my friends, it's just a theory. A style theory. May all your sweaters be ugly.
Why? Why?
If you wanna see something neat, go out tonight to your street. When he flies across the sky, Santa's on his sleigh, dangling his feet. Ooh, Santa's feet. Ooh, Santa's feet. He's jolly, he's fun, and he's really sweet, and he also likes dangling his feet.
I want to see a meme at the back. I'm sorry. At Style Theory says you okay?
One up ourselves. Maybe make it a holiday tradition here on the channel. Until then, though, I hope you all have a happy holiday season. And as always, my friends, it's just a...
No way! Wolverine, Deadpool, Mysterio? No way! But hey, that's just a theory. A style theory. Keep looking sharp. And I hope to see you all in my next video. Thank you so much. Remember to subscribe. Thank you. Subscribe. Thank you so much. Subscribe. Bye bye.